It's game week. Oregon Ducks. Oregon Ducks game week. Big game week. It's Washington week. So, very special place. I'm high above Bisbee. Beautiful scenery. We're going to watch the sun go down. I can't explain it. It's pretty beautiful up here. Let's see if I can get a backdrop of the other side here. That's right. I got a lot to talk about. Haven't talked about much the last couple of weeks because I didn't have much to talk about. My sidekick is pulling me around. So, anyway, Washington, the Huskies, my favorite team to talk about, because people wonder why Oregon Duck fans hate the Huskies, and I don't want to use the word hate, but think of the Huskies as a much bigger rival than Oregon State. And there's one reason. It comes down to this. They whooped our butts for years. For years and years and years. As a kid, I grew up hating when the Huskies came to town because they brought an entourage. They had a lot of people. They would literally increase the population of Eugene by 20,000. And they'd put more people in our stadium than we did. And that's embarrassing as any kind of fan. Not to mention, they took over the town. They were in every bar. They were in every park. They'd drive up with their bigger RVs, Don James era. And you really can't explain how bad it was. I remember as a kid getting taken to Husky games, watching us lose in the rain, because back then it always rained at Autzen Stadium. I don't know what happened with winning, but somehow winning managed to change all that, because now it never rains at Autzen Stadium, as you know. But back then it always rained, and the Huskies always won, and Don James and everybody would come to town, and they'd have a big party, and they'd laugh at us, the little brother. And it wasn't much of a rivalry, really. It was just embarrassing, humiliating, and I had to suffer through that as a kid, over and over and over again. But then in 1994, an event changed everything. And thanks to Kenny Wheaton, everything changed one day. I was in the stands, and I was watching Brock Hurd drive the Huskies for what appeared to be yet another victory. I think they'd won 6 straight at that point. Probably won 10 out of the last 11 games. And looked like they were going to do it again after a great day. We'd been kicking butt all day, and it looked like it wasn't going to matter because Brock Hurd was taking him down there to score a touchdown. And once again, beat the lowly Ducks. Kenny Wheaton came up with that interception, and he took it to the house. And Kenny Wheaton's gonna score. It was one of the most joyous moments of my entire life. I was in the student section, getting mobbed, and I'll never forget that moment. And everything seems to have changed since then. And now look what's going on. Yes. Now Washington is coming here with a chance to upset us, to try to change their fortunes, try to reverse the tide. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now, we could talk a lot about what's been going on in Duck football. We we're doing good. Looks like we could possibly slip into that 4th spot, play Georgia again. Who knows? Let's not think that far ahead. We got the Huskies. The Huskies are the most important game of the year every year. It doesn't matter. It always is. Man, I need a haircut. Been on the road. I've been very busy. But yeah, we're back in it. We're right back in it. We're number 6. We'll see what we are in the playoffs tomorrow. Projection. I think we'll be around 7 or 6. Looking good. Teams are going to lose. Things happen these last 3 weeks. We might be one of them. We can't let it happen. We've got our 3 biggest games coming up. But most importantly, it's Washington week. It's Husky week. And lately, I don't have nearly as much vitriol for the Washington Huskies because, you know, they haven't, what have they beaten us like once in the last 10 years? Maybe twice. I mean, let's be real. We're the dominant team now. We're the team to beat. The shoe is on the other foot. And notice, it never rains at Autzen Stadium now, and they don't bring 30,000 freaking fans to our town anymore either, because they're losers. They don't care when their team isn't good. They're fair weather fans. They're all big, high, and mighty in the Don James era. But they're not bringing a caravan of RVs to Autzen to see their butts get kicked, are they? No. So, all right. I'm sorry, I got a little emotional there. It was a special year. That year when we beat the Huskies, when Kenny Wheaton intercepted that ball and changed the fortune of Oregon football for years to come, was a really interesting year. Me and my friend, well, I'm going to be honest, we had some friends that were students and they didn't like football. They'd give us their tickets. And back then, you really didn't check. They didn't really check. You just gave them a ticket. The stands weren't full. But as Oregon started to win, the stands started to fill up. I remember one game sitting there and the students behind, there was a foreign exchange student going to his first football game. I think a Japanese fellow. And the other students were explaining him football. And me and my friend were sitting there in front of them. Pretty much empty, semi-empty student section. You could always get student tickets, even right up to the day of the game. They didn't even get rid of all the student tickets. It was a different time. And but then as we won that year, we kept winning. We kept winning. Things started to look good. There was a possibility we could go to the Rose Bowl, which eventually we did, by the way, after beating Washington and OSU. Sound familiar? Yeah, we got Washington, Utah, and OSU, and then probably UCLA. I'm taking it. UCLA's beating USC. I think we're going to have to beat UCLA again. Just like Utah beat us twice last year, we're going to have to beat UCLA twice this year. I'm calling that one. That's for you Vegas people. Because UCLA, I think UCLA looks tougher all around with defense and offense. Sure, everybody's saying USC. I'm going UCLA. I'd rather we play USC because it'll be better for our playoff chances if we beat another team. And if USC beats UCLA, they're going to be highly ranked. They might go ahead of us. And then that would be a game probably for the playoffs. But either way, I don't really care about the playoffs. All I care about this week is the Huskies. The Washington Huskies are coming to Eugene to get their annual comeuppance for all those years. And they weren't humble about it either. No, they rubbed it in our face in our hometown. And they every year, every other year, but still, I think I'm a little scarred. I think my childhood was different because of that. I think I would have had a much better childhood had the Huskies not done that. All right, be honest, one year, I went with my friend Bert, and his dad worked for Wildish, and there were some Wildish people that came down from Washington, and we all hung out, and they brought a bunch of steaks, and they fed us, and they had a really nice RV, and we didn't go back in for the second half. We just, as junior high, we just sat in the RV and ate steaks. They were already up a bunch. A couple years later, I think we tied them or beat them on an end around by Barnes. And that was glorious. We sat in the rain all day and watched us finally get a win. That was probably the second best Husky victory that I remember. But I was there in 1994 in the student section, dancing, hugging a bunch of strangers. Mob. We didn't leave for 2 hours, I don't think, after that game. We were in the parking lot for 2 hours after that game. And just watching the dejected Husky fans walk to their cars, because they fully expected Brock Hurd to throw a touchdown when they got it down to the 7-yard line. Everybody did, kind of. Everybody did. It was what always happened. But things change. Eras change. It's now Oregon Duck time. Now we got a nice, bright, young coach. There's another hump to get over. That's the national championship. That's right. That's the thing. See, it took a guy like Kenny Wheaton, who just had it in his DNA, the competitive nature. He didn't think about the past. He didn't think about what was supposed to happen. He broke the mold. He changed history. And I think we got another guy like that in Dan Lanning. He's the man. Like he's got it. There's a certain thing about him. He doesn't care about history. He doesn't care about Oregon always finishing second at best. Now, and I think he knows what it takes to really have a national championship type team, because he's done it and he's seen it. So maybe not this year. Maybe this year. Wouldn't that be a Cinderella story, huh? We beat Georgia, beat USC. I don't know. We can dream. We can dream. But I see it. I see it in our future. I see it in our future. Just like Kenny Wheaton, Dan Lanning is a different kind of person. Man, I wish you could see the sunset. It's not really coming through. The sky is red, and there it is. Oh, there it is. Come on. Oh. Come on, camera. There it is. There it is. Doesn't really do it justice. It's a beautiful night up here above Bisbee, Arizona. Ah, boy. It's Husky Week. Very special week. Every year. Especially for the last, 20 or so. Since we've been giving it right back to them, haven't we? I did want to talk about one other thing. Come on, fans. Really? I go on all the boards because I put these things out, and come on. Really? Oregon fans, do better. Don't bitch about a sunny day. Don't find something to complain. We just housed Colorado in their own house in a windy stadium. We still scored 49 points. I actually saw somebody say, we haven't put 50 up yet. 49! It was 49 points. How close? We put 70 up, actually, once. Like, it was just, come on. Give me a break. There's always going to be a few things. Players are leaving to better themselves. That's fine. We've got new players. We've got other players. It's once a duck, always a duck. You know what I'm saying? Once a duck, always a duck. People got to do what they got to do. If Ty has to go somewhere else next year, maybe he does. Maybe we need to recruit a couple of quarterbacks. Who knows? But you got to stop, people. Let the coaches coach. Quit finding something to bicker and bitch about. It's disgusting. It's stupid. It's like, you win a game 49-10, and you find something to bitch about. Look at this sky. God, I wish you could see it. It's just red. It's gorgeous. Oh well. I can see it. I can see it. It's nothing but wow. It is so beautiful up here right now. Well, that's it. That's about all I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I got a little emotional. It always brings a... I love Kenny Wheaton. I love that man. Say hi, Bodie. Oh, there's a little bit of the sky. Say hi, Bodie. So, signing out. Game week. Me and my trusty dog Bodie. We're gonna take a walk. And go Ducks. Beat the Huskies. Fuskies. Whatever you want to call them. Beat them. Beat them bad. Game week.